Maestro Shimada, it's so lovely to see you again.
Wow, what a great opportunity here. Caitlin, really, welcome to our ECSO family.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I shouldn't say that because you already were here before me actually, in the youth ensemble. And it's an incredible story actually itself that you started from the youth educational program and now that you're top of the office of the ECSO.
You are so sweet. You know, I'm so honored to be back in a position for an organization that has given me so much. You know, the first time I actually saw the ECSO was with summer music. Probably the late 1990s there down at Summer Music, and that is really what sparked my love of classical music, my love of live music, and so to get to perform with the youth ensemble, the Eastern Connecticut Symphony Youth Orchestra, and to now be back with this organization is it's a dream come true.
I have a question for you. It comes kind of all sudden. It wasn't a plan, anything. But when you're growing up, have you thought of wouldn't that be great if I could become a manager of the symphony here?
That's a really great question. I did not anticipate this career path. I've just always loved classical music. It's always been what's kind of driven me and what's given me a sense of purpose. The youth orchestra gave me the chance to really feel confident in myself and know how to work as a team. And so coming back to this organization, all the lessons that I learned along the way, you know, what classical music taught me has led to me being here today, but it still provided me with all those resources long before I ever worked in the professional symphony world. And I'm enormously thankful to classical music and to you for the incredible welcome that I've received.
Well, also you're very strong in the educational department. I mean, that's your well-equipment and all these ideas, wonderful ideas you have. And of course, our mission, educate, is a very important word that in the mission statement. And so you just fit right into it, you know, I think. This is just wonderful. So now we have a concert tonight. And in a few minutes, I will change my clothes and I'll start conducting. But before that, since we are not having an official pre-concert talk, I thought this would be a great way to feature our concert and talk about anything else that we could talk about the symphony, of course.
Absolutely. So we can't wait to see you on stage in just a few minutes. But this marks your 16th season.
Yes.
With the ECSO. This is a big milestone for you as we kind of start this voyage of passion, Elgar and beyond. What emotions and what reflections are coming to mind for this incredible journey?
You know, over the past 15 years, I have really tried to make this orchestra one of the top orchestras in the region. And we're getting there, really, thanks to really great support of all the audience and the board members and the volunteers. And we're getting there very close, I think, to my vision. So we are looking forward, not really looking at the past, but looking forward to what could this orchestra be next step, on the next step, and give more excitement, more wonderful music, and increase our audience and so on. And you are here to help us doing that, of course. And so everything is really exciting time. There's new opportunities that you have brought us sometime too also. And it's a great way to start again.
That's phenomenal, yeah. And the program we're going to start with Spanish March, Strauss Jr., which was dedicated, as you're well aware, to the Spanish regent Maria Cristina in 1888. What kind of drew you to this piece for this evening's Voyage of Passion?
There are several things that I was thinking about it. First is this year's 200th anniversary of Johann Strauss Jr.'s birthday. So we had to do something great, and well, we gave him the top spot, the opening of a piece of the whole season. But as a piece-wise, this work, I have always wanted to perform this piece.
Really?
And couldn't find the music for a long, long time. Recently, because of the 200th anniversary celebration, finally, this publisher in Vienna offered to the world this piece. That's why immediately said, I have to do this piece. The reason, another reason is the opening fanfare, the trumpets and the brass is just fantastic. It's a great, great way to open the concert. Strauss wrote a lot of marches as well as lots of waltz and the gallops and polkas. The march was written so it will open sometimes it's the balls of the opera balls and symphony balls and philharmonic balls and all this, or to start. And so it's ear-catching music. And so what a great way to start with this piece for our season also.
That is phenomenal. And our featured soloist, Nick Hamill, he's the 2025 ECSO Instrumental Competition winner. We're so excited.
Yeah.
And he's going to perform Elgar's Violin Concerto in B minor. Can you share what makes this concerto so special and what you've kind of observed about Nick's interpretation of this? It's a very demanding work.
Yeah, it is demanding work. It's a long work. It's one of the longest violin concerto written. And it's not one of it's the longest concerto. Technically, it goes all over the place. It requires so much emotional outpouring through music. Interesting piece, it was written later part of Elgar's life. I think it was finished 1907, just prior to World War I. And the period that, that people were just wondering, not really steady world climate, because there was a lot of conflicts somewhere. But music-wise, it was more personal for him. It's his emotion. And, Elgar's the one wrote music in the late Romantic style. Well, 1907, Stravinsky was writing Firebirds, and Schoenberg was writing atonal music, but Elgar is still keeping that great romanticism and wrote this concerto. Interesting thing that it was dedicated to the Fritz Kreisler, who is one of the foremost violinists in those days, and he premiered it. But dedication was to Kreisler, but it has also connotation. There's a Spanish quotation which I cannot pronounce, maybe, but it was like, here and installed these people.
Herein is inscribed the soul of. Yeah.
It's not something in Spanish.
Yes.
Of all the things. And we don't know who the dedicated persons are. Just like Enigma Variation, his Enigma Variation is enigmatic. So, yeah. But however, really this doesn't matter. The piece really speaks to you so much. And it's only 3 movements, but it goes to 50-some minutes. At the end, traditionally the violin cadenza, of course, happens in the first movement, and then some second movement, third. But there is one huge, lengthy cadenza near the end of the piece. And when I first saw this piece, wait, this must be a mistake. Why is there such a huge cadenza at the end? But over the years and thinking about it, that cadenza has to be there. It's the place of the contemplation of what happened. Just need to reflect what happened in the concerto even. And so it's a deep, deep emotional place. But by that time, players are tired, orchestra is tired, and we have to conquer that cadenza section. And It meant to be actually need to sound tired. Sounds tired, exhausted. But then after that, triumphant ending. Quick one.
That's fabulous. Yeah, it's going to be a real knock your socks off.
Interesting fact is that Elgar recorded this piece a little later. It was not with Chrysler, but the young Yehudi Menuhin. He was a teenager, young person. So it's well, Nicholas is not teenager anymore, but I think it's appropriate that the young person's performing this work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that he does a wonderful job. When he competed with us last year, all the judges kind of looked immediately at each other and said, kind of nodded. So it was kind of determined in the early stage that he's going to win. So it was incredible. So
that's phenomenal.
now the audience get to hear him.
That's phenomenal, and we will get to hear him extremely soon. And you've chosen to pair this Elgar piece with Brahms's Haydn variations, which many might know is also known as the St. Anthony variations.
Yes. Originally, I thought of programming Brahms' Fourth Symphony, but then that was prior to Elgar's violin concerto coming to us, Nick winning, and I thought Elgar's violin concerto and Brahms' symphony is too heavy, so we had to kind of lighten up the whole program. So instead of doing one piece by Brahms, I thought one piece by Brahms, but shorter piece, but end with something spectacular and the blockbuster ending. And so that's what the program became about. The Brahms's, I love this piece very much. It has a different version, but two piano version also too. But of course, I love the orchestra version. It has 8 variation on the theme by St. Anthony, which Haydn used it. We're not quite sure Haydn actually wrote this theme, chorale. Maybe Pleyel wrote it. There's a lot of debate among the musicologists. But we just take Haydn's name because Haydn's famous. That's what happened. So attributed to Haydn. But it's really Brahms at the top of the writing skills and the very emotional piece too. In the variation, you think it's emotional, but there's a lot of feeling in this piece. Last movement, the coda, is in a form called Pasacalia, which is a Spanish 17th century slow dance form. In other words, ground bass is repeated over and over and over, same way, but then there's top changes all the time. Pasacalia Spanish, well, I was think Spanish march to start a concert. Elgar used the Spanish inscription, and Brahms using the Spanish form Pasacalia. That's so far the program is like that. And what do you know? What we have to end with the concert? Spanish piece.
Spanish piece. Rimsky-Korsakov's Capriccio Español.
Yeah, Spanish. Those 3 pieces, the Brahms, Elgar, no, not Elgar, Strauss, Brahms, and Rimsky-Korsakov. Those pieces written within 10 years in the late 19th century. It was different character, different styles, of course. But Rimsky-Korsakov, the reason I program this one is because it also features our soloist from the orchestra, harp, flute, clarinet, violin. So another violin, Stefan Thiessen playing that part this way. And it's really delightful in a way. Originally he thought of this to be a violin concerto, but he decided, no, I'm gonna make it more flashy. It has 5 movements, 2 movements of Alborada, and Fandango, and then all the Spanish dances. And there's a variation. Second movement is actually variation, which connects to Brahms' variation. There we go, all the connection.
Full circle.
My program always has some kind of connection. And lastly, Rimsky-Korsakov was known as a super orchestrator. His orchestration is so delightful, sparkling, and all this wonderful sound that comes from, it's amazing that in the second half of the 19th century, composer could write in such a skillful way. And that's the concert. Really good way to end the great opening concert.
A fabulous way. Now, all of them as well have another connection. You've mentioned this Spanish connection and the variations connection to them all. There's another connection. It's also a composer as conductor as well.
Yeah, true. I mean, Elgar conducted too, of course, and Rimsky-Korsakov, everybody conducted. Brahms conducted. Strauss was, of course, conducting also too. But there's another connection. Maybe you asked
connection.
Yeah, there's another connection. It's the relationship between Johannes Brahms, and Johann Strauss Jr. They were close friends in Vienna, and Brahms thought Strauss was the finest composer. Interesting, because people tend to think Johann Strauss is an entertaining composer. Waltz is entertaining, but no, Brahms said Strauss is a superb composer, and he knew how to make a piece popular by repeating a phrase over and over, same rhythm. Dee dee da da dum bum 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 ba da da dum bum 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 ba da da dum bum bum bum. If you repeat it, people love it. Remember this thing. So he thought Brahms thought that Strauss was very skillful. We have to be careful because there are several Strauss composers. Strauss the father, who is famous for Radetzky much, and the Strauss the Jr. second is a waltz king, and there was Edward Strauss, brother of Strauss, who wrote the waltz, and then also Joseph Strauss, which I love Joseph Strauss's music. And then, of course, offspring of all the Strausses still composing everything. So we have to be careful. The one we're talking about is Johann Strauss the second. The second. So now, Brahms and Strauss was so close, and when they passed away, the city of Vienna thought they should be still together. So right now they're buried next to each other. Their grave is next to each other in a central cemetery in outskirts of Vienna. It's really, I go there all the time. Here goes Strauss and Brahms still next to each other, talking to each other, maybe. And opposite is the Beethoven and Schubert's grave.
Wow, quite the powerhouse.
Quite the powerhouse, yeah. This whole area.
Graveyard there for sure.
So, yeah. There's a story of a great friendship, yeah.
So you, speaking of kind of being all over the world,
yeah.
You have conducted over your long and distinguished career. You've conducted all over, from Carnegie Hall to South Korea to Vienna to all over. Kind of, how did these international experiences shape the way that you approach this kind of classical European repertoire, like tonight's program?
Interesting. I mean, often some people that ask me, so you're born in Japan, how did you come about doing the European music, predominantly European music? Symphonic music originated in Europe. So, well, my explanation is the music is a universal language. I could relate to all this music, no problem. There's its own distinct feelings, emotion, which we could communicate to anybody in the world. When you hear the sound, you could really know what composer was thinking. So, in that base, but also, I go all over the place and conduct orchestra in different worlds. Some place they don't speak English that well, so I have to show the music through my gesture. And this gesture comes from our music, so somehow they understand. It's a magic. You go to Turkey or Lithuania, all these countries that I don't speak their language, but still do my things. And we could communicate, we could smile to each other, and the audience go applause and everything. It's a really magical thing. Music is a magical idiom. I mean, it's really hard to explain. You cannot write about it. You have to just experience it. So it's very important for you to be here, and you're here in the concert hall, and I'd like you to bring all other people to Guard Arts Center for our concert.
That's fabulous. Yeah, music is in many ways, its own language. It kind of transcends.
Yeah, and the young kids understand it too, right?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I've noticed about you is that you are deeply committed to nurturing this young talent in music.
Yeah.
And that's something that really drew me actually to this organization and through the ECSO's competition and your many years at Yale.
Yeah.
What advice would you give emerging young musicians about approaching this world?
Yeah, interesting, because I was just at the Ball State University giving a residency and talking to young musicians, conducting students, and I told them that they are in such a privileged area of self-expression. You can express yourself through music, but if you study mathematics or science, we're working on somebody else's formula, not yours. You're forced into understand this. But when you do the music, you understand about yourself immediately, and you try to nurture that. And so that in the way, power of the music kind of overcome you, right? And so whether you become a musician or not become a musician, but you still have that understanding of what music is. And I really want young people to understand that part and feel great, feel privileged, feel proud of that they know the music well. And to become musicians is another thing, very difficult path to the Korea. And I say, you need to believe that you could do it and work very hard. That's the only way you could get.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
That's hard work and perseverance for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So this organization, the ECSO, has become really an integral part of the Eastern Connecticut community, arts community, along with our wonderful partners, the Guard. In here, certainly within your tenure, how do you hope tonight's audience will connect to these passionate romantic works?
Well, it's just we'll give all we can from the stage to you, and I hope we could really communicate so closely and then feel our passion. My hope is for the future that you as an audience would really think about nurturing this orchestra. You as an audience could nurture us by supporting, of course, and talk to all your friends and the relatives and neighbors and strangers about our orchestra. And if you feel that the orchestra is really worthy of becoming bigger and better, I think you could spread the great words to anyone.
Fabulous, absolutely, because orchestras are a community effort. It's a large group of musicians who are on stage today, and it is not just the community that's on stage, it's also the community at large that supports us entirely, and we're extremely thankful to all of our donors, to all of our supporters, to all of our subscribers.
Yeah, of course, without them we can not do this.
Absolutely.
Really, it's so incredible. But I'm very happy that you're here. You have such energy that really perfect for our organization.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm very thankful to you and to all of our community members. And we'll see you on stage in just a few minutes.
Yeah, very soon.
But as we embark kind of on your 16th season, our 79th. season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. What are you most excited for as we look ahead for this year?
Well, we have a couple anniversary coming up. The anniversary of our nation, 250th coming up, and our 80th. My gosh, that's a wonderful milestone.
Amazing. Yes.
That celebration is coming up, and for the 250th, we'll celebrate America. And then for 80th, we have some very special things will happen. So just stay tuned.
Stay tuned, absolutely. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok at ECT Symphony. And as we're headed on, we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you so much, Toshi.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.